this is something that has always made me really think about people who decide that they want to live the life of another individual. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to say is this: when it comes to destiny swapping, right, what many people tend to think is that, why would a person want to destiny swap with me, right? I don't have anything. Why would a person want my life? My life sucks, right? But the life that you are living now is not the life that you're going to have in Christ, okay? And the life that some of you guys are living now, even if you aren't a believer, there still is a mission for you on this earth, okay? And this is what somebody wants. They either got a reading on you. People do that, you guys. People will get a reading on you to determine your path, okay? And they may not get full information, but some of the information that they're getting is that you have a bright star. So when a person has an indication that you may be a person that may be wealthy, or if that person happens to have some kind of status, or they may have, they may not be a person that isn't, struggling or anything like that. They may be a person who actually does have money and success. But if you are an individual that is going to excel that person, do you understand me? If you are going to excel the person who wants to think that they are better than you, they are going to want your destiny, okay? And what a lot of people don't understand, okay, because we live in a natural world, that many of these people that you think are working in your places of employment, many of these people that you think that are just walking out throughout this world, and you're not, not even thinking to yourself that these people are partaking in these kind of things, okay? But they are, okay? Many of these people are. Now, can an individual take someone's destiny? That's the question. Absolutely not. Number one is this: an individual may be able to emulate you, and they're taking things away from you. I'm going to tell you another way how a person does a destiny swap, okay, that some of you guys may think practical witchcraft, okay, is that an individual can slander you and they can ruin your reputation, right? And if there is a position that you are seeking to apply for, a position that you're up for a promotion or something like that of that sort, what is going to happen is that person is going to take your place, okay? When it comes to a romantic relationship, that individual will take your place, okay? When it comes to anything that belongs to you. And some of you guys, I'm getting this for somebody. There's a family member that you have, and this person, this is either a sibling or maybe a cousin for someone. This female cousin, and it may be a male too. I'm also saying a male cousin. You guys, listen. Male or female, you have a relative that knows things about you, meaning that they're going to a necromancer and they're going to a witch or a warlock, and what they're doing is they're getting readings on you, okay? And what's happening with this situation is, while they're getting readings on you, they're also cursing you, okay? So what I find very interesting when it comes to destiny swapping is this: if you are going to swap with an individual who you are spiritually bullying, an individual that you may be bullying, in most cases, what they tend to do is they will attack you naturally and they will attack you guys spiritually. So when an individual is attacking you in the natural, okay, what makes that individual who thinks that they are going to take your path, right? How do they even know whether they're actually built to take your path? That's the interesting thing. And majority of the time when these kind of people are partaking this kind of thing, they are narcissists, okay? Narcissistic people have this sense of entitlement where they need to know certain things because they're very fearful people. Narcissists are extremely fearful, okay? This is the reason why they do things in patterns, okay? Even the way that they respond to certain things, right? They do things in patterns because it makes them feel safe, and they're used to things being predictable. This is how they want things. They want things to be predictable because it's easy for them. They're lazy, okay? So particularly when it comes to people. Narcissistic people aren't really trying to get to know people. This is the reason why they force people to try to conform, so that way they can better understand them and they can have a form of control over individuals. Okay, so what tends to happen is this is my question. If you are an individual who wants to live another individual's life or to take their path, you may not want their current situation because things look pretty rough, but you ultimately want their end, which is not going to happen, because if you want it, then you're going to get everything that comes along with it, right? So that means that you're going to get the bullying. You're going to get someone who's going to sabotage you. And guess what makes it even more interesting? You're going to get it double fold. You're going to get it sevenfold. You know why? Because it's illegal spiritually for you to want to take a person's destiny. It's also illegal in real life, the natural, for you to sabotage an individual and try to destroy an individual's life so that you can have what that individual is ultimately going to gain. Now, for someone, this person has no clue exactly what you're doing, and they're very annoyed by that. They want to know, what is it that you're up to? Because they want to practice. This is a person, this is like some annoying adult child who has a sense of entitlement, like a brat who feels that they should have everything, you know? And for some reason, there is something about you. And you know what's interesting about this too? This is the kind of person, right? They want to trick you, like in a sense of like, you know how a person, okay, you know how there can be an individual, right, who acts on the surface like, oh, I have this going on, I have that going on, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and blah, 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 you know, and all of these different things, right? And you may, you know, genuinely be happy for this person. But this is not what this person wants. This person wants you to be jealous of them, you know? And this is an individual in actuality who feels that way about you. So this is somebody who has some insight. They know that you're on a path of something, okay? And this person they're trying to find some kind of way that they can get on this thing. So they need to be close to you in order to do this, okay? And if you're a person who doesn't, you know, have a huge amount of people around you, it's very difficult, especially for a total stranger. Like, I don't know anybody who's going to do that. I'm sorry. I'm just not that kind of person. So I don't even know how a person would even try to get information out of me, or even, it's not going to happen, especially a total stranger. Like, I don't trust people like that. I've always been that way. So somebody is seeking to swap with another individual. And as they're swapping, or whatever this thing that they're seeking to get, they're actually going to get the bad side of that. So everything that was intended for you to receive that was negative, they're going to get that. So the fact that this person wanted to humiliate you, they wanted to embarrass you, they wanted you to unalive yourself, they're going to get that. Okay? Every single bit of it. And this is a word from the Lord. So whoever this individual is, who has made it their mission to cause you a living hell so that you can abandon your authenticity, so that you would not want to be you anymore, so they can kind of wear your skin, weirdos, whoever this weirdo creep is, male or female, okay? Because let me tell you something too, you guys. Hold on one second. I'm going to tell you guys something else too about this, right? So there are people, right? And what tends to happen is, with certain situations, there may be a situation where there is a male that wants a female destiny. Okay, interesting, huh? And this is not a male that's homosexual. This is not a homosexual male. What tends to happen is that sometimes there are women, right, that have a position of authority, and there are women who carry themselves better than men do. Okay, because a lot of men, especially particularly in this day and time, that a lot of men, you know, they don't carry themselves in a way that's in the form of leadership. They want to be considered to be a leader, but they don't have what it takes to be a leader. Okay. And this is the problem with a lot of men, because they don't know how to receive information when it comes to a woman, because they're so quick to shut a woman down because, women need to stay in their place. But then when they see a woman who has an authoritative kind of personality, they feel challenged, and the woman may not even be saying anything. This oftentimes happens with me. Okay. And if you are, and I'm not an alpha female, I'm not. But what tends to happen is, in these situations, is that when you are a confident individual, see, this is what they assume is authority, but it's not. It's just that you're confident. Okay. So when you're confident like this, and many men have low self-esteem, they just, on the external, they don't really talk about these things, but a lot of men feel as if they're worthless, especially in this world. Like, there's so much responsibility on men in general. Okay, there's a lot of pressure on men. And I really feel, I empathize with men a lot, because I feel like that men don't have any safe space to actually express themselves. And not just that, they have so much responsibility. And then when we think about things such as society standards when it comes to men and what men are expected to do throughout society, if they're not able to meet that mark, there's a lot that affects their self-esteem in the way that they see themselves. Okay. Another thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is about this man in particular, the reason why this man isn't getting opportunities, right? So I'll talk about that in the next message, right? If you are a male, check this next message out, because it may be for you, or it may be someone that you know. Okay. So what tends to happen is, when a man feels like a woman has this sense of authority, they will get offended by that. Okay. So they'll see that this woman has this kind of authority, and that people respect this woman. And, this is a person who has integrity. So that man will say to himself, and he'll say, I want her destiny. What is it that she's going to do in her future? What does her future look like? Is she going to be like, and then, the individual in which they're seeking to get this information from will tell them, okay, this person is going to be in a form of authority. And the man may look and be like, what? Be like, yeah, this person is going to be in a form of authority. So what this man will do, he will become upset with that. And he'll say, well, no, I don't think that this person should be in a form of authority. I want this person's destiny. You get what I'm saying? I want this to be my path. So what this man will have to do is he will have to date this woman, right? In order to learn her behaviors. This is what oftentimes narcissistic men will do this. So sometimes when a narcissistic man wants a certain personality trait, what he will do is he will sleep with the woman and begin to date that woman so he can emulate those qualities. So if there's a job or something that he's seeking to get, he will basically, harvest another woman's energy to get like a certain position. You understand what I'm saying? Or to be accepted in a certain group, because there's something that he wants to gain from this thing. Okay. So this is what a lot of men will do. They will try to actually connect with a woman who happens to have, some form of success, or she potentially has a form of success. Okay, understand this. You may not have it right now, but you're working towards it. Okay? Some of you guys may not even be working towards it. This may be something that's going to happen 2 years down the line. You understand what I'm saying? You don't know what's going to happen in your life. You don't know what changes and things that you're going to come up with, and experiences that you're going to have, things that may be rough on the surface, but there's a sweet spot that eventually that you're going to get to eventually in your life. Okay. Even when it comes to men, a lot of men don't think about this. A woman can destiny swap with you as well. Okay. A woman may be in a form of, let's say this, even when it comes to that male that I was speaking about before, where this female employee was in competition for this promotion against this male, and she's trying to set this guy up and say that he sexually assaulted her. Okay, that right there, that's a prime example. Destiny swapping. She's gonna have him sent off to prison, and she's gonna take his position. You see that? Based off a lie. Now, what tends to happen in these situations, right, where a person may not want to have you sent to prison because you may be useful for this person. It's just like when you are creating a blueprint, right? When you do a blueprint and a person decides that they're going to take whatever it is that you created and make it into their own, right? What tends to happen is they're going to get caught. You know why? Because of the fact that this individual can't explain how they came up with the concept in which they're presenting. Okay, because they're gonna have to reproduce that. So what people would tend to do is, if they are an individual who has access to you, they will stay in touch with you. Everything that you're creating, they hack your email, they go through your files, they pull it out, and they take it elsewhere. Okay? These are things that happen. Sometimes people are so nasty that they will actually claim something to be their own, and they will actually sue you for something that is yours and say that you copied them. Okay? Because once they present it, okay, even though you have receipts, because you're always supposed to have things documented, date, time, have things certified, solidified, okay? Hard drives, all that good stuff, sent to several different emails, all of these different things that you're supposed to do. And this is why you have to be very cautious when it comes to certain things. Don't give people any information as to how you're doing what it is that you're doing, okay? You can't trust anyone, okay? If this person isn't working hand in hand with you and they're trying to assist you or anything, certain things people shouldn't know, okay? And even then, you ought to be careful with that information as well. But, you know, when you kind of have like a partnership, you're going to have to share something, okay? So, yeah. Another thing, last one, before I just let you guys go, because I'm exhausted. I had a really rough day today. So the last one is, if a woman wants to take a position of leadership where it requires her to have masculine energy, what she could possibly do is she can connect herself to a male, okay? And she could harvest this male's energy, okay? And what will happen is, when she's harvesting from this male, is his life will turn into poop, while her life is basically top notch, okay? There are a lot of women who do this. So what she will have to do is, she would still have to remain connected to that male, okay? This is what they have to do. They have to keep you in their lives. And how they gain a form of control, of course, is they have to like keep you on highs and low, emotional roller coaster, these kind of things, so that they can have a form of your emotions and you can seek their validation, right? This is what they have to do. They have to keep you in a perpetual state of looking for their validation, okay? So it's kind of like you're a puppy dog, like you're just sitting around, and whenever they tell you to bark, you kind of, you know, that kind of thing, right? So what she'll do is she'll keep the male around because she needs to get more of his energy. So he'll start sensing things like his finances is decreasing, he's losing jobs for some reason, he can't seem to get a job. And what she'll do is, because this is a thing, when somebody's taking something from you from the spiritual realm, meaning that they're harvesting your energy, what they have to do is they have to still give you something, okay? And for somebody right now, it's some people who are in a lot of trouble. Let me tell you why they're in trouble, right? And this is a female. These people were harvesting energy from you for years, right? And what they did was they never compensated you anything, because they're supposed to give you something out of it, okay? Even if they don't give you a fair, like a 50-50, they took everything because they were afraid that even if they gave you $5, because you're the kind of person, you're very resourceful, you can take a little bit of something and turn it into like something that's major. And if you got that money when it came from something that was divine, if you take that little bit, you see how, oh, this is so good right now. And I'm about to end the message, y'all. I want to prophesy. This is so good. The Lord is so good, y'all. The Lord is so good. Remember when he gave the talents and he gave the coins, right? And one of them said that they went and they got more. The other one said that they still had whatever it is that they had. And I think the other guy said that he buried it. This is what we're talking about right now, okay? They were supposed to give you something, and they didn't give you anything. They were greedy. So spiritually, they owe you money. And you're not going to get that money until you give your life over to Christ. If you've given your life over to Christ and you do exactly what God tells you to do and what he instructs you to do, because this right here, this is nasty. Spiritually, this is gross. Like, this is like, this is wrong. You know, this is wrong. Not to give a person anything, nothing. So what's happening with this guy is, this woman, what she does is, as she's harvesting this guy's energy, okay, this is what has to happen. She has to give him something. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what she keeps him around for. She basically has him as like some guard dog or something like that, right? So she has to have him on a leash. She has to be the one to validate him, to make him feel as if he's important. He has to seek her approval. And this is how the game goes. She's sort of like making it seem as if like she's some kind of advisor or something like that. This is how it has to go, because remember, the person has to look up to you. No, this is what I'm getting, mentor, not an advisor. Which is weird to me, because I think that any man who, and it's not that I'm discounting the fact that a man cannot take information from a woman. That's not what I'm thinking. But a man should never be in a position where a woman is making decisions for him. That's weird. That means that there's something wrong with the energy. You can tell that something's wrong. But I'm going to tell you guys something else. The position that the woman is in is actually the position that male is supposed to be in. But because he's not wise enough spiritually to understand these things, and you know why he's spiritually blind? Because a lot of men are very lustful and his eyes are out like Samson. So this woman has a Delilah spirit. Boom. There it is. Bye.